In today's MLB recap, Ronald is officially back. The 40-70 guy has officially returned for the Atlanta Braves. His Braves faced off against the Red Hot Nationals, and we finally got to see a long-awaited debut of Robert Hassell III. He was a big piece in that Juan Soto trade. Bearded Carlos Rodon is looking like his old self again, not just physically because he's got a beard, but with the nasty stuff as well. The Boston Red Sox made a trade, and their fans are not happy at all with it because they chose this dude who's hitting like 170 in AAA over one of their top prospects like Roman Anthony or Marcelo Meyer. Former MVPs Christian Yelich and Jose Altuve have stunk this year like really badly, and they both ran into a few home runs yesterday. Also, Cade Smith, the reliever for the Guardians, he turned in the most dominant inning of anyone all year. I mean it. Wait until you see it. So again, we'll talk about all of that and more in today's MLB recap. We recap every baseball game every single day. So grow the game of baseball with me. Join the team and hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to leave a like. Also, recap is brought to you by SeatGeek. Be sure to save yourself 20 bucks off all of your tickets using code Fuzzy, and if it doesn't work, just try a new email because you probably already tried it. And if you like fantasy sports, Underdog Fantasy has your back. They got baseball, football, basketball. They have anything that you can think of, even gaming like Optic. It's on there. So download Underdog Fantasy to your phone today. All you have to do is choose higher or lower for the pick'ems. It's super easy. Use code Fuzzy and you get a lot of free stuff as well. Ronald is back. In 6 games in a small little rehab assignment, he went off for 2 home runs and 7 walks. He only had 2 strikeouts as well. I know, it's the minor leagues, but if he brings that approach to the big leagues, he's going to be 2023 Ronald all over again, because we know that in 2023, he was not striking out at all, but his strikeout rate jumped over 12% from his MVP season to last year in 2024, which was a big part of why he only hit 250 last year after hitting 330 or something crazy like that in 2023. So Ronald is officially back, and because of that, we have another breaking update from the Braves. They just cut the former All-Star Orlando Arcia to make room for Ronald on the roster. Orlando has fallen off a cliff ever since that little beef with Bryce Harper in the 2023 postseason. Remember, Orlando was an All-Star that year with 17 home runs with pretty good defense, so he was feeling himself, and maybe that played into why he started mocking Bryce Harper after he got backpicked to end one of those games on a double play, and then he got stared at by Bryce Harper as he rounded the bases in another game. Then Orlando started yelling at fans like a full-blown crash out, and since that point, Orlando is hitting 216 with a 70 OPS plus. So yeah, falling off a cliff is not an understatement. I know Philly fans won't like me saying this, or even really anyone else, but I started feeling bad for Orlando, not gonna lie, especially after that crash out. Like, he just wasn't doing okay. But yeah, Ronald is officially back. I just wanted to make sure you guys knew that. So this right here is the final game that the Braves will play without having kind of baked in excuses. I know that Profar is gone for a bunch of games, but they got Strider and Ronald back this week, and they're here for the long haul. Yeah, there's probably gonna be some rust, but you guys know what I mean. Robert Hassell III, he's finally making his big league debut. He came over in the Juan Soto trade. I want to fill you guys in super quick on what he brings to the table with his tools. The 23-year-old Robert Hassell III is coming off hitting 290 with 4 home runs and 9 stolen bases in AAA. He's also a wizard defensively in the outfield, and he's very fast, so he's kind of a PCA-like type player. All right, back to the game. Matt Olson, he just drove one out, so that's 4 home runs his last 5 games. Marcelo Zuna, this one is gone as well. A big fly for the Big Bear. And now we have a pretty awesome tender moment coming up. Keibert Ruiz, we know that he's been in baseball for quite some time. His parents have never seen him in the big leagues because they couldn't get out of Venezuela to see him play. His mom's recording, and she got it on camera. I thought that he had a home run, but that's an RBI double in front of his parents. They're jumping for joy, and I don't know if Robert's family was in attendance. They didn't show him, but they're probably jumping for joy as well, whether they're at home or at the ballpark. That's his first big league base hit, and another Soto trade piece stepped in. CJ knocked in Robert, so there's so much going on with this Soto trade. James Wood, who also came over in that trade, cleared the damn bases. CJ scores from first base. Now, staying with CJ, he could not snag this Michael Harris blooper. I don't know who catches that, aside from like what, Cal Ripken Jr. or prime Andrelton Simmons. Troy Tulowitzki probably makes that play. 2 scored on that blooper, and it's back to a tie game as Brad Lord walked in the game-tying run. But check out Keibert, another RBI for his mom and dad, Luis Garcia Jr. This is an RBI fielder's choice. That was a nice pick from Allen, but Luis is safe at first base. The Braves, they're not going anywhere. There's a bunt. Stuart Fairchild's bunt rushed Jose for air. He tossed it into right field, and Marcel drove him in. An inning later, Matt, he peppered another one. This one's not gone, but one score is easy. Riley, he's going to try and unhook the trailer and score from first base, but it stays a tie game. Riley's out at home. That is Kyle Finnegan's 3rd blown save of the year. I don't know if that was his fault because it was an unearned run. To extras we go. The Braves, they got shut out in the 10th. Hassell, he's the ghost runner. Alex Call bunted him over, and Ahmed, he got his pinch hit versus a lefty. This was automatic. The Nationals have won 5 games in a row, and check this out. Every run that Washington scored, the Soto trade was involved. Every single run, whether it was an RBI or a run scored, all all 8 involved a Soto trade piece. Remember, they also got Mackenzie Gore in that trade, and don't forget about the 21-year-old Jarlin Susana. I don't know how to say his first name, but he throws 900 miles an hour. He had 157 strikeouts and 103 innings last year. I'm not saying that this is the greatest trade of all time because there are trades like Pedro Martinez and Babe Ruth, but in terms of hitting on almost every single prospect, this is one of the best trades in MLB history. The Nationals, they're onto something. The Angels might never lose again, and the A's might never win again. We have the longest winning and losing streaks both in this game. Okay, maybe I spoke too soon. Brent Rooker went perfect, a 440-foot blast. The A's have the early advantage, and they added even more. Nick, I can't say his full name. I'm sorry. He makes it 3-0 A's. The losing streak might finally be coming to an end, but these Angels aren't the same Angels that we were making fun of 2 weeks ago and seeing if they were going to have to trade everyone. Taylor Ward had an RBI single. Zach Neto had one too, so it's a 1-run game. Now it's back to a 2-run game. What a call from the umpire. It was a 3-2 count with the bases loaded. Tyler Anderson, he nibbled just a little bit too much. Oh, God, not again. So Anderson's out. Hunter Strickland is in. It's 5-2 A's. Sevy's out after a quality start. Wait, now it's time for the Angels to load the bases up. Taylor Ward already has 2 base hits. He's not a 3-hit guy. He's a 1, maybe 2-hit guy. Now he's a 3-hit guy. The go-ahead grand slam for his 14th home run of the season. And Logan just matched Ward, not with the grand slam, but he also has 14 as well. They got a few more runs. They ended up with 10. The Halos have won 6 games in a row. The A's have lost 9 games in a row. So because of that, the A's are trying to shake some things up. They're calling up their 25-year-old stud defender, Denzel Clarke. He's really fast, and he gets on base a ton with his eye. I don't know if JJ Bleday is going to start losing some playing time, but he probably should because he's hitting .204 with -5 outs above average. The only time that he's been useful is against lefties. He's batting almost .370 versus southpaws. That makes no sense. Are the A's bad, or is this just a rough patch? We've seen the Twins and the Angels all stink it up, and then they go on crazy win streaks to catapult themselves back into contention. I put that in air quotes. Can the A's do the same? Red Sox fans on social media saw Denzel Clarke get called up, and they were like, must be nice to see your prospects getting the call, because instead of calling up Roman Anthony or Marcelo Meyer, they just traded for a former A, so this is perfect timing to bring it up. They're going to try and fill the void at first base with walk god 29-year-old Ryan Noda. He went crazy as a rookie, hitting 16 home runs with amazing exit velocities, a near .370 on base. He has one of the greatest eyes I've ever seen, but somehow that doesn't translate to when he swings the bat, because he has an all-time bad whiff issue. A whiff is swinging at a pitch inside the zone and missing. So he takes pitches outside the zone, but when he has a chance to swing on a pitch inside the zone, he misses a lot. So Red Sox fans are pretty heated at the fact that they're just kind of taking their sweet time with their super prospects and trading for guys hitting 170 in AAA. Just like the Angels, Philly is also trying for their 7th win in a row. You're just not getting buzz, kept Bryce Harper out. Wait, before that, check out this double play. Jordan Beck kind of went full-blown dude perfect. This is like a try hard. He did not have to jump because he kind of stopped running early. He then put on the moon shoes to make the leaping. Dude, there's a fly in here. Get away. Regardless, that weird time jump worked as Schwarber kind of got fooled. That's a double play. Here's the 2-timer. Bryce, he sliced an RBI double. He knocked in the other Vegas boy. Bryce is hitting .471 his last 9 games. Max Kepler, he did the same, but to right field. He hooked it to score Kyle Schwarber. The fly, I'm getting attacked. All right, I got him. But Schwarber does score from first on that, sorry. Ranger Suarez, he took care of the hapless Rockies offense. He almost goes 7 scoreless with 6 strikeouts. He got taken out after a walk and a Ryan Kerkering. He popped up Hunter Goodman. Harper, look at him reaching over like Mr. Fantastic over the railing to make the grab. We have more defense. Brandon Marsh ran a mile. He can still go get it. Romano, he had an easy breezy 10-pitch 1-2-3 ninth. He has 6 saves, so the Phillies do win 7 in a row. They're 32-18. The Rockies are the worst team ever assembled. Like, actually, they're the first team ever to lose 42 of their first 50, so they're 8-42. They're also dead last in WRC+, team ERA, and DRS on defense. They're literally the worst at everything. San Diego is doing their best Rockies impression lately. They have lost 5 in a row, and they're way too good to let it drop to 6, right? See? Jackson, he drilled one up the middle, and Gavin Sheets ambushed a first pitch way out, his first of 2-run home runs. So he had a big game. Sheets on defense, he's not the DH, he's at first. Dear God, what just happened? He should have let Cronenworth field it and have Cronenworth just toss it back to the covering pitcher. It's 2-1 Padres. Addison Barger hit a laser beam the other way. We are tied. Not for long, though. Bo singled in the speedster Jonathan Clase. Padres fans, they are fuming because it's getting worse. Not by much, though. Jackson, he did track it down. It could have been a base-clearing double. It's an RBI sac fly for Dalton Varsho. It's 4-2 Jays, but like I said, Sheets had 2-run home runs. He makes up for his sin earlier. Jeff Hoffman, he's been terrible in a Blue Jays uniform. He just blew his 3rd save. He has an over 6 ERA. We're in extras now. Luis Ariz, he cashed in on the extra at bat. The Padres are back on top. Robert Suarez, he's nails, and he has 8 days off. It meant nothing. He grooved 94. Is Robert Suarez okay? 94 down the middle. Jonathan Clase evens the score again. He has 4 base hits, 3 walks, and 2 stolen bases his last 3 games. Sheets, he clutched up. This game might go 18 innings. Sheets has 20 RBIs and a 140 OPS plus. Dalton, we're going 18 innings, aren't we? This game is wild. Nathan Lucas says nope. He just chopped a pitch at his corneas, 99, tomahawks it the other way for the W. The Padres have lost 6 in a row. The Jays have won 3 in a row. They're back over 500. We have playoff baseball in May. Let's get after it. The Guardians, they're in Detroit. It's a rematch of that epic ALDS, and the Tigers have been the best team in baseball. Jack Flaherty, he struck out J-Ram to end the first. That's career strikeout number 1,000 for Jack. Staying with 1,000s, Carlos Santana collects career RBIs 1,107 and 1,108. The 39-year-old has 26 RBIs and a near 350 on base this year. Angel Martinez, he swung so hard his helmet fell off, but he hit it so hard that it left the yard. So he circles the bases without a helmet. That's kind of funny. That was his first of 2 big base hits, by the way. We'll talk about Tanner Bibee in a second because we got to show a guy who looks completely dejected and defeated. Tim Herron, the lefty, he has his face in his hat because he just loaded the bases without getting a single out. Cade Smith, he's going to try and save his buddy and leave them loaded. Okay, there you go. He strikes out the future 2029 NL MVP Akil Baddoo. Then he tossed a nasty splitter. There's 2 outs. I was spitting everywhere on this pitch. 98 miles an hour, Cade's best versus Riley's best, and Cade struck out the damn side. That's how you pick up a teammate. And this is how you don't. McKinstry, he took his eye off of baseball. A Bo Naylor bunt turns into a run. Angel, he hit it to left field. Baddoo couldn't save this one. 2 more RBIs for Angel Martinez. Quane singled Angel over to third, so it's now a 7 spot for Cleveland against the Juggernaut Tigers. That's just the 3rd time all year the Tigers have been shut out. Now, I do want to talk about Tanner Bibee because he was ace Bibee. 7 scoreless, 8 strikeouts, only 3 base hits. The curveball was curving, and check out this play off the mound that he made a barehanded play. He had a couple more strikeouts on the curve, and I don't know what this pitch was to Kerry Carpenter. Maybe he tunneled the changeup or something. Bibee had 3 more strikeouts, and he was fired up on the 8th one because it ends 7 scoreless. The Guardians are 27-22, but check this out. They're the only team with 26 or more W's that still has a negative run differential. What does that mean? Their opponents have outscored them this year, but they're still 5 games over 500. The Yankees have the best run differential at plus 94, and that didn't change too much in this next one. Went from 94 to 95, something like that. Clark Schmidt, his dad threw out the first pitch to the Yankees. They were honoring his dad because he was in the military. Hell yeah. Carlos Rodon, bearded Carlos Rodon, might I add, he was in his bag. He struck out the side in the 5th, so he's through 5 scoreless. Nathan Eovaldi, he was right there with him. The former Yankee then got tagged by the new Yankee rookie Jorbin Vivas, socked his first career home run. Remember, they got Jorbin in that Victor Gonzalez trade a few years back where they traded away Trey Sweeney to the Dodgers, and then Trey went to the Tigers for, what was his name? Jack Flaherty. We just talked about him. Wyatt stole his 10th bag, and then Rodon answered back with a strikeout, and then look at this. I've never seen this in my life. A ball got away from JC Escara, and he tossed it directly into Jake Berger, the hitter. I've never seen that before. Wyatt, he's at third base, he stays put, and Rodon got Berger to chase. 8 strikeouts over 6 shutout. He's down to a 2.8 ERA. He has 80 strikeouts and 65 innings. Bearded Rodon is just different. And apparently, 2-time Tommy John Nathan Eovaldi is different as well. He only allowed the 1 run. He's down to a 1.6 ERA. And because he struck out 6, he has 71 strikeouts and a league best .78 whip. The Yankees bullpen teamed up, though. They keep it at 1-0 as Luke Weaver. Anytime I say the word Luke, I think of Outdoor Boys. I miss him. But Luke Weaver with Matt Blake on his side, the pitching coach of the Yankees, he's unfair. He has 7 saves, a 0.4 ERA. The Yankees officially get their 30th W. They are 30-19. The Rangers, they're back under 500 after losing 4 in a row. Yelich had himself his best game in months, but we'll show that after this AL West showdown with another former MVP teeing off. Seattle, they took the early lead, but they also struck out 15 times. They're out to getting smacked from the 3rd inning on. Shout out to Dylan Moore. By the way, he's up to 8 home runs, but Izak, he got big help on the Ben Williamson bobble, and he gets the RBI on the fielder's choice. So instead of that being a double play and this being the 3rd out, this is now an RBI sac fly for Jose Altuve. That's why I hate ERA. It should have been called an error, but the fielder's choice bails out Ben, and that run goes to Kirby's ERA. I just hate that. It's 2-2. We're going to skip to the 4th inning, and the Astros, they cracked the code again. Dubon doubled to right field. In scores Jake Myers. Jeremy Peña somehow got a triple on a ball to left field. This was career base hit number 500, and it was a fun one because he's around for 3 bases. And again, a triple to left is crazy. Randy took forever to get it in. Jose, he's about to take over. 1 tank in the 5th. That's his first home run since April 28th. He needed this breakout game bad because he came into it with a pathetic 239 batting average and an awful 629 OPS. The Astros, they take it easy. We'll talk about the standings right after this. The Pirates, they finally scored some runs, and it still wasn't even close to being good enough. Yelly, he went to left field, and Tommy Pham nearly posterized a fan. He just kind of misjudged the angle, like he had plenty of height and he got there in time, but again, he didn't really understand where the ball was going. That's a 3-run Oppo Taco for Yelich. The Pirates got 1 on a double play, so I'm just going to skip to Joey Ortiz and his solo home run. That's his 2nd of the season. He really's got to get it going. He's got a negative 1.4 WAR on the season. Spencer Horwitz, the Cleveland legend, we know that he was with the Guardians for like 14 seconds before he was flipped to the Pirates for Luis Ortiz. He'll be a nice add for sure in that Pirates lineup. Yelich, his 2nd of the day. He has 9 on the season. Just like Altuve, he has not been good at all to start this season. He came in with a 184 batting average and a disgustingly bad 600 OPS, just barely above the 500. He raised his OPS by almost 50 points in this one. He's at 648 now. O'Neal Cruz, cool. He had an RBI double, but after a long rain delay, Isaac Collins drove in Jackson Chourio. Frelick flicked it past Adam Frazier, who I just don't like. It's a 2-run single. The Pirates are 17-34. The Brewers are 25-26, but they have a big update coming your way. Brandon Woodruff is almost back. He's now made 7 starts in the minor leagues with a 2.7 ERA, and the strikeouts have been ticking up as of late, so he's trusting his shoulder. Remember, he had big-time shoulder repair surgery. He was crazy from 2021 to 2023. He had a sub-2.8 ERA with a wicked 11 strikeouts per nine over 400 innings. The Brewers are going to have a pretty good rotation of Chad Patrick and Logan Henderson keep up. I know they're young, and I don't know if it's going to be possible, but Jose Quintana, he's not even healthy, so if all of these guys come back and they just perform with Freddie Peralta pitching like prime Freddie Peralta, the Brewers rotation is going to be really good again. Those were the only games from yesterday, so I want to give an update on the stat leaders and standings across the game of baseball. Aaron Judge, even after a recent slump, he's still leading everyone with a 396 batting average. Home runs, we have 2 guys tied with 17. We have Kyle Schwarber and Ohtani leading the pack with those. We have Aaron Judge with 44 RBIs, but not too far behind Seiya Suzuki with 43 and Wilmer Flores at 42. Base hits, I can't believe this. Aaron Judge has 74 base hits already, 10 more than anyone. The next best guy is Jacob Wilson with 64. Stolen bases, there's only 1 guy with 18, that's O'Neal Cruz. Pitchers, we have Brandon Pfaadt of the Diamondbacks leading everyone with 6 Ws. ERA, it's still Max Fried with a 1.29 ERA. Who is leading in saves? Senior Smoke, Andres Munoz of the Mariners. He's the only guy with 16. Strikeouts, it's still Mackenzie Gore. He has 84 strikeouts. Why'd I say it like that? He has 84 strikeouts, and that pretty much does it for all of the fun stats I wanted to talk about. All right, let's talk about some standings. We'll start with the American League, then the National League. The Yankees, they're 5 games up on the Blue Jays, so the Blue Jays actually just leapfrogged the Boston Red Sox for 2nd place. In the Central, the Tigers have 33 wins. They're 5 games ahead of the Guardians, the Twins, and the Royals. They're all tied for 2nd place. Then there's the White Sox. In the AL West, we have the Mariners at 28-21. They are 2.5 games up on the Astros, and the Rangers, they've lost 4 in a row, so they're down to 4 games back, which is tied with the Angels. The Phillies, we talked about it in this one. They've won 7 in a row, so they are now 2 games up on the Mets for 1st place in the East. And you have the Braves at 7.5 games back. They're probably going to have to be a wild card team. And then the Nationals, they've won 5 games in a row. The Central, we have the Cubs at 3 games up on the Cardinals because the Cubs have won 2 in a row. The Cardinals, after winning a bunch, have lost 2 in a row. Then the Brewers are 25-26. Same with the Reds. The NL West is stacked. The Dodgers are only up by 2 games. They're 31-19, but because the Giants have been so good this year, they're still 2 games back. The Padres, even after losing 6 in a row, are only 3 games back. The Diamondbacks, they're within 5 games. And then there's the Rockies. Guys, that does it for today's recap. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed or made it until the end, do me a favor, leave a like, hit that subscribe button, and if you haven't already, make sure to use code Fuzzy on SeatGeek and Underdog Fantasy. Thanks for watching, and enjoy the Web Gems.
Sounded like a broken bat. Center field. Harris gets to it. Sliding kick.
They're great runs. This one high in the air, right over his camp. Smith and running. Wow.
And he floats it to shallow right. In comes Rooker to a slide, and he makes the catch. Got a chance for 2. And Goodman pops it up outside of first. Harper over near the dugout, reaches in and makes the catch. Oh, what a nice play by J.P. Crawford.